this time, I'd like to call the AFAS Spencer Area School District Regular Board of Education meeting to order for the month of November. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Babel, is meeting was properly noticed? Yes. Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Ken? Motion made by Jim, second by Ken to adopt the agenda. Discussion. Hearing none, start this vote with Joanne.
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Lana?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Jeff? Jeff is excused for tonight? Ron?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. It passes 8-0. With that, we have some recognitions tonight. We're going to go right to student recognition first. Ms. Hamilton is going to hand out the awards tonight. Parents, feel free to come up. There's a couple chairs in the front to take pictures. So we'll start tonight with Grand Marsh Grade School.
Mr. Peace is not here yet.
Not here yet. If you come before the end, we'll do it then.
Yeah, they're planning on it.
All right. AF Elementary.
Sam Storman's going to present tonight.
This is Jesse. He is an awesome second grader. He does very well academically, socially, and behaviorally. He works hard and he tries his best in the classroom and is always doing what is expected of him. He is very kind to others and he's always looking to help a friend or a classmate. Jesse challenges himself when appropriate and isn't afraid to ask for help when he needs it. So our student one.
Go by Shannon.
Jesse.
Adams Frederick Middle School.
Tammy Alekna is going to present tonight.
That's exactly why he was chosen. This is Jacob Rodriguez. It's been my honor to have him in my math class for the last 2 years. He's just one of those students that I probably will never forget in my lifetime. He's always smiling. He's friendly to everyone. One of the things I wanted to ask him if I could share this story with you, because he comes into my class for math, but the other day he just pops in, every once in a while he just pops in to say hi. And one of my students is autistic and nonverbal and is obsessed with Jacob's hair. He's obsessed with everybody's hair, but he just loves Jacob's hair. And most boys Jacob's age wouldn't allow anyone to touch their hair or come near them. But every day this kid comes up and he just plays with his hair. And Jacob's just cool with it. And that's just kind of the guy he is. He's just really nice. He comes to class ready. He's willing to try anything that you ask him to try. And he also is a great person at home. He talks about his home life a lot, and he's always worried about like his family, if they're having medical problems. He shares that with us. And he's just really a very caring person, all around nice guy. And he is known at our school as Jacob the Bling King, because that's just kind of who he is. So, Jacob Rodriguez.
High School.
And Vicky's going to present this one to Jasmine.
I'm really out of my comfort zone.
Just to let you know.
But I do have a great person here. The dream is to have a food pantry at the high school, and I have to say, Jasmine has been so wonderful as far as being team-oriented and student-ran. She has just grabbed it and run with it. She's there every time when we get a shipment in. She's looked online to understand how to do the ordering. She made a suggestion about doing sampling. And so for Halloween, we did some sampling of some baked goods from the food pantry. She went around handing out flyers and making sure kids knew about it at the high school. And I'm just really, really pleased with her. And Liz from Second Harvest even sent a scholarship information for Jasmine to fill out. So it would be $5,000 scholarship. Plus, she could send $5,000 to a non-profit organization. So she's a great inspiration and good, just wonderful leader for the students. Thank you.
Before I go out in the hallway for pictures, we also have a staff recognition, and then I'm going to ask Insight and Shannon Cote to come forward. None of you stay out there. Come here, Shannon. Go stand by mine.
So Insight would like to present this award to Shannon Cote and the Adams Friendship School District in appreciation of our ongoing partnership. This partnership allows for Insight to be present and actively involved in students who are DVR consumers. With the cooperation of Adams Friendship staff, we meet with students regularly. This allows for an opportunity to serve these students and provide them with employment opportunities.
Thank you, Shannon. Congratulations.
Yes.
Tonight, Mrs. Holbers presenting Grand Marshall Student of the Month. Go ahead and meet Mrs. Holbers. Go ahead.
So this is Emily, and her last name is
Ellis.
Ellis, but here's a fun fact about her. When she was little, she thought her last name was Lettuce. She is a wonderful little girl. She's in 3rd grade with Miss Decker, and when Miss Decker nominated her for Student of the Month, she chose these things. She's cooperative, she has good leadership, she's considerate to others, she's an outstanding attitude, she shows continuous improvement, she's a positive role model, and she has good attendance. And all of that is very true. And this is what she wrote about Emily. Emily has been an outstanding student since day one. She's outgoing, helpful, considerate, determined, and a hard worker. She is constantly offering help to fellow peers and to adults as well. Emily even had an opportunity to help the lunch ladies serve our Thanksgiving meal, and I heard you did a great job. Emily walks to class every day, and this is my favorite line Ms. Decker put in here. She walks into class every day with a smile on her face. Emily, it's my pleasure to give you this medal for Student of the Month.
And go back and see Shannon for a book. At this time, all award winners, if they would go out in the hallway, and Harriet's going to go out and take your picture. That includes you too, Shannon, for the papers. And then if you'd like to come back for the meeting, you may, or you can leave if you'd like. With that, while they're getting a picture taken, we'll hear from the student representative report, Mr. Abel.
Thanks, glad to be back. So on November 8th, the Noetic Math Contest for grades 2 through 4 took place at AFE. Dental cleanings for students began on the 6th and will continue to the middle of December, and vision screens will be going on this month as well. On November 19th of 2018, AFE will be hosting their district holiday meal and family movie night. They'll be playing the movie Incredibles 2. If you'd like, please RSVP with Mrs. Miner, and it takes place from 5 to 7 p.m. on that date. In Grand Marsh news, on November 13th, 2018, Grand Marsh will also be taking place in the Noetic Math Contest. On November 16th, they will be hosting the Veterans Breakfast at 9:30 a.m. to honor veterans, and so they host a breakfast and program to honor their service. And the Grand Marsh fundraiser ends tomorrow, and we'd like to thank everybody for their support with that. 7th graders in our Learning Spaces curriculum will travel to Green Bay to collaborate with other 7th graders around the state. 3 middle school students will be attending the WASC Region 6 Leadership Fall Summit at UW La Crosse, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later because our high school student council is hosting that event. On November 14th, the middle school will be taking place in the Noetic Math Contest. And the week of November 26th, students in grades 6, 7, and 8 will take their turn for the ACT Aspire benchmark tests. These assessments help to inform instruction and provide us insight regarding performance as compared to similar age peers around the state. On November 14th, a group of AFHS students will be visiting and learning at the Operating Engineers Training School in Kelowna. Final exams will be held on November 29th and 30th, as the end of the trimester is quickly approaching for the students. The high school hosted a Veterans Day event today to honor all who have served and all who are currently serving our country's military. Some presenters included the band and choir and student speakers as well. And the AFHS Student Council will host the previously mentioned WASC Region 6 Fall Conference tomorrow in La Crosse. We've been hard at work getting guest speakers, planning the day, and several other activities to give the student councils in our region a great conference. The high school 1-Act team recently competed in the sectional 1-Act competition at Wanakee on November 3rd. While they will not be advancing to state, they gave a great performance and will be performing for the high school student body this week, I believe Wednesday. And winter sports, including basketball, dance, and wrestling, have started. Home games will be starting this week, so come out and support the girls' basketball program on Tuesday or Friday night. Some high school and middle school band students will be attending the Honors Band in Watoma, I believe tomorrow. The concert will be held from 6 p.m. at the Fine Arts Center in Watoma. And those students were selected by the directors to represent our band in a sort of combination group of bands all over the area. And there will be no school for the Thanksgiving holiday from Wednesday, November 21st to Friday, November 23rd. Any questions?
Oh, thank you very much. Moving on, we'll go to public comments. We do have a public comment tonight, Doreen Olson. She's going to speak about 5th grade.
Good evening. First, on a personal note, I'm asking the district in the future if you could only publicly post classroom assignments for students that are actually registered in the district. I am not sure the reason why you included my son on the list, because I followed all the necessary steps that required me to open enroll him out of the district. But it has negatively affected or impacted him and his transition. Now, some of you might be thinking, that's what I deserve, or what did I expect? And let me say that if any of you have thoughts like this, you should probably consider a career change. That kind of flippant and callous attitude where a 10-year-old has been negatively impacted is not beneficial to any student, their learning process, or their mental health. And I can tell you that I did expect to have issues and problems to work through. What I didn't expect was for the district to sabotage the process and multiply the issues. But the main reason I came here is that last month I took Eli and a Russia Creek classmate over to Flag's Corn Maze. As we passed by, we pointed out Eli's new school. The only thing she said was, "Oh, Eli, you got playground equipment? You're so lucky. At least you get to have a fun recess. Ours is so boring." I told her that I tried to get the district to bring over the equipment, but you hadn't had time before school started. And I said to her that maybe she should come to the school board meeting and talk to you and explain how much the equipment is needed. And as I kept driving, I thought, how unfair is that of me to ask a 10-year-old girl to come here and beg you to do what you said you were going to do when you proposed closing Russia Creek, and you also said that you were going to do at the annual meeting. Now, I understand that classrooms needed to be put in place first, but I do also remember that last May, AFE was still fundraising for their new additional playground equipment that district personnel had time to install this past summer. So the district's priority was to get additional equipment to a school that already had some and leave a school without any. So what's the excuse now? Why hasn't it been installed? Certainly the classrooms were finished by September. You also said that you were going to keep 5th and 6th graders away from the upperclassmen. Yet last month you had a dance with all the middle schoolers. Now I'm trying to understand the logic here. You don't think it's safe or wise to have them interact during the day with all the teachers in the building, but it's okay to put them in a dimly lit gym with minimal supervision. And I do know that there were parents who would not let their 5th graders go to the dance because all the grades were included. You need to split these type of events up, activities up and have 2. One for 5th and 6th grade and another for 7th and 8th. And I know it's more work and it's maybe more money, but that's what you signed up for when you said you were going to keep 5th and 6th graders separate. When you fail to follow through at this level, the leadership level, you're not failing one or a handful of students. You're failing hundreds of children. And you are also failing the teachers. If students are bored during recess, they're not burning up that energy that has been building while sitting in a classroom. Please don't brush off issues by saying children are resilient. When you say this, you're stating that you know that this will negatively impact children and that you don't care, that they'll just have to deal with it. I want to be clear. I knew that promises wouldn't be kept and that balls would be dropped due to lack of planning, and this is why I pulled Eli from the district. In the end, it comes down to when will the district have enough integrity to stand up and do what they said they were going to do and to do right by these students? And when will you, as a school board, start following up on major decisions to make sure plans are being followed and holding individuals responsible when they are not? Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. With that, consider adjournment to closed section under 19.851C. Is there a motion? Consideration adjournment to closed section under section 19.851C. Consideration adjournment to closed section under 19.851C. Hearing no motion, we'll move on. Consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Jim? Motion by Joanne, second by Jim to approve the consent agenda. We have one resignation. Nicole Fleischman, Adams Central Middle School Special Education. And approval of the board minutes from October 8th. And approval of board minutes from October 22nd. And we have one donation from Barb Weed. She donated trombone to AF Middle School last Friday.
There's 2 donations.
Oh, there's another donation also? Oh, Scott Construction donated 4 truckloads of pea gravel for the use of the playground. With that, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll start this vote with Kent.
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
My vote is yes, passes 0. Administrative report, Human Resources.
Hello. I thought we're in the middle of open enrollment, so I'd maybe explain to you a little bit about our Telejet system, which is our new filing system, paperless, completely paperless. Well, not completely. There's a couple forms I have to send into WRS and stuff like that, and they won't let me go use built forms, so I do have to have those printed out. But Stacy's kind enough to log into her account for us. This is kind of what you see when you first log in. Regular staff don't see anybody else's names on the side. Her and I are the ones that build everything in there and do the filing.
Ms. Henson?
Yes. Sorry.
I'm sorry. It really, rude that I interrupted, but when you said open enrollment,
Oh, sorry. Open
could you
enrollment.
please say that's what
For
the open
benefits.
enrollment applies to?
Sure. Open enrollment for benefits. Every year we need to allow staff to make changes to their benefits that they have under the school district, health, dental. We're starting vision this year, health savings account, anything like that. So We usually run that in November, through the end of November, and then that starts January 1. So, on a side note with that, the dental that we started for support staff this year, we started July 1st. We have 50 support staff that qualify, and we have 38 currently taking it, and have another at least 5 or 6 that have enrolled in it starting July 1st. So that was very much appreciated. They really did appreciate you guys all allowing me to have that. So, but a lot of good feedback on that. So our process in Talented is we've been slowly but surely uploading everybody's files in there. So any employee that wants to see their files, it's all here online. When you first go in, there's 2 ways people can go in. They can go in because they want to see their files, they want to change their direct deposit, they want to do some changes to, if you can go to the blank docs really quick. This is all stuff that I've been building and continue to build. Hopefully FMLA will be the next thing that's in here. But if they want to change their tax withholdings, if they want to change their TSA withholdings, anything like that is on here that they can go in on their own and grab. And then this case goes back to her task. I was going to show you the dental form that she already preloaded in there. So the dental is something that we built with the help of Talented in the beginning. I've been building stuff from then on. If she scrolls down a little bit, it pre-fills for them their name and that kind of information, their birth date, anything that's already been entered into there, it automatically fills for them. And then they just continue filling in the rest. They can say final, sign it electronically, and then it comes right back to me and alerts me that I have to do something with it. Another version that I wasn't able to build due to the company's request would be like the health insurance form. And that one, I just have instructions on there, and then there's a PDF that they can print off. And if they're able, they can upload it right there themselves, and then I have it at my computer within minutes, or they can send it over to me and I'll upload it for them while they're in the learning curve. We do contracts on here. We do handbooks on here, so everything's immediate. Like, I can't tell you how excited I was the first time I did contracts. I'm usually waiting weeks and weeks and weeks and alphabetizing the paper copies. Within 3 minutes, I probably had 10 contracts signed as soon as I sent them home. So it's amazing. I think it's an awesome product, and I think we're using it more and more every day, and I look forward to expanding it. So that's our new paperless system.
You mentioned eye care. Is that going to be an elective?
Yes.
And how much will that cost to employ?
So it is a new elective, and it is, I think it's $567 for a single per month, $1387 for a family per month. I don't know, I mean, be off a little bit.
Yeah, okay, that's a nice part.
So, and that has had a good response as well, so. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. EGR report.
All right. We have been asked to be short and sweet, so there's only going to be 2 of us that are going to speak tonight. But I will introduce everybody. I am Lisa Hanks, the reading interventionist, and this is Shannon Schmart, our reading specialist. And Dr. Goodwin, another reading interventionist, Dawn Clark, math interventionist, Brock Robbie, a math interventionist, and Karen Hover, a math interventionist. All right, so we have to put this piece up every time we come and present to you. As you know, we use instructional coaching, among other things, to move forward in the achievement of these goals. And we have expanded our team this year with Brock being a new member. We've replaced a member with Katie Anderson, and we have a half-time interventionist, Dale Reinhardt, in the afternoon when she's not teaching 4K. So our team has expanded, and we are now servicing 6th graders as well as K through 5. So this next slide is our reading graph. The red line indicates the summer slide that we had from last spring, which was the blue. And the gold line is the goal, which is based off of 10% growth from the blue.
The next slide will show the math data that we received from our benchmarking in the fall. And again, we experienced some summer slide, which Lisa mentioned is that red line going down from our blue line, which was the spring, where we ended in the spring. The thing we'd like to point out is the goal for second grade and first grade is very close to the 80% proficient. So the next slide, if you wonder what we do throughout the day, this slide shows most of our team busy at work. We're collaborating with staff, coaching and meeting with staff. We're running interventions and small groups. We are also analyzing data and getting together and discussing that data. So that's just kind of a glimpse of our day. And our last, when we said short and sweet, we meant it. The last slide, are there any questions for the architect?
Is this summer slide regularly observed? So you're not, I know we really aim at summer school, trying to recapture those students, but, because then we spike again in the spring, right?
Yeah, we find that we usually catch a lot of that up by our winter benchmark, but we do have a lot of summer slide.
Would a 45-10 calendar help that summer slide, do you believe?
I believe it would. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Moving on, policy committees.
Right. The policy committee met at 5:45 and we had second readings for the following policies. Policy, and I make a motion to approve these second readings. Policy 3217, weapons. Policy 4217, weapons. Policy 5113.1, part-time open enrollment. We tabled policy 1110, assessment of district goals, to do a little research on a form that was mentioned. Policy 1619, group health plans. Policy 1619.01, privacy protections of self-funded group health plans. Policy 1619.02, privacy protections of fully insured group health plans. Policy 1619.03, Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Policy 3419.01, Privacy Protections of Self-Funded Group Health Plans. Privacy 3419.02, Privacy of Fully Insured Group Health Plans. Policy 3419.03, Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Policy 4419, Group Health Plans. Policy 4419.01, Privacy Protections of Self-Funded Group Health Plans. Policy 4419.02, Privacy Protections of Fully Insured Group Health Plans. Policy 2131.01, Reading Instructional Goals and Kindergarten Assessment. Policy 2413, Health Education. Policy 2460.01, Independent Education Evaluation, is a deletion. Policy 2460.02, Least Restrictive Environment Position Statement, is also deleted. Policy 2460.03, Independent Education Evaluation. Policy 3120, Employment of Professional Staff. Policy 3120.06, Selecting Student Teachers or Administrative Interns. Policy 3124, Employment Contract. Policy 3140, Termination, Non-Renewal, and Resignation. We also, for never mind. These were all second readings. Policy 3310 and policy 3430 were not read this time. We did go down for a first reading on policy 01.
Kathy, let's get a second on your first motion, then you can
okay.
explain it. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. So the motion made by Kathy, seconded by Kent, was 3217 weapons, 4217 weapons, 5113.1 part-time open enrollment, 1619 group health plans, 161901 privacy protection of self-funded group health plans, 1619.02 privacy protection of full insured group health plans, 161903 patient protection and Affordable Care Act, policy 341901 privacy protection of self-funded group health plans, 341902 privacy of fully insured group health plans, 341903 patient protection and Affordable Care Act, 4419 group health plans, 441901 privacy protection of self-funded group health plans, 441902 privacy protection of fully insured group health plans, 213101 reading instructional goals and kindergarten assessment, 2413 health education, 2460.03 independent educational evaluation IEE, 3120 employment of professional staff, 3120.06 selecting student teachers and administrative interns, 3124 employment contract, 3140 termination, non-renewal, and resignation. Those are all second readings. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start this over with Jim.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
My vote is yes. Passes 8-0.
Okay, then we moved on to only one first reading, policy 0142.5 on vacancies.
Okay. Anything else, Kathy?
Nope,
Thank
we
you.
adjourned at 6:40.
Finance Committee.
Okay, Finance Committee met at 6:46. And on behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to approve general fund checks number 79311 through 79532 and ACH checks number 900092 through 900114 and 2331 through 2353, totaling $1,099,266.46. Activity fund checks number 30442 through 30474 and ACH checks number 1117 through 1118, totaling $24,519.03. And debt service fund payments of $31,434.90 for the month of October.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Motion made by Joanne, second by Jim to approve general fund checks number 79311 through 79532, ACH checks number 900092 through 900114, and 2331 through 2353 for a total of $1,099,266.46. Activity funds checks number 30442 through 3474 and ACH checks number 1117 through 1118 for $24,519.03, and a debt service fund payment of $31,434.90 for the month of October. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start this vote. Lena.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
My vote is yes. Passes 8-0. Anything else, Lauren? Anything else?
No, that was all.
Not at all. New business. School safety report.
I'm sure you guys are aware this last year, there were a number of tragic events across the nation, public places that included violence and tragedy. That prompted our state legislature to pass legislation and statutes that required schools to have minimum criteria in their safety plans, and it's much more detailed than it was in the past. So if you look at your handout, you'll see that I listed the new state mandates. The top half is, the processes the board is going to have to follow, and that is every year you're going to copy the safety plan, the dates required, the safety drills, certification of written evaluations. So we came up with templates that are included in the safety plan that you'll be reviewing. Data on the most recent school training, including the number of attendees, the most recent date, the school board and governing body consult local law enforcement agencies to conduct required on-site safety assessment. So those are all board processes. Then the next part is really where, for the schools, individual schools, it called for us to go to action. The law required that every individual school building now in a district has a safety plan. Prior to this, you could have a district plan, and that's what we had. Now you had to have a building plan for any building that houses students on a regular basis. So that means that we needed to develop a plan for AFE, Grand Marsh, middle school, and the high school. And the mandates also outline what we had to include in those plans, and they're listed for you. You'll see the typical ones: school violence and attacks, threats to school violence, bomb threats, fire, weather-related emergencies, intrusions, parent reunification, threats to non-classroom events, and the on-site safety assessments. The ones that are in bold print are the ones that we identified by analyzing our old plan that we had areas of need that we had to address. So what we did is we formed a series of work groups that were going to address those needs. So there were 4 of them. In those work groups, we included stakeholders from the community, such as law enforcement, fire departments, health and human services, and administrative team members. And we broke it down, and then we took accumulation of all those reports, and we constructed safety plans. And so what we came up with, and I didn't include the plans, because the plans you have access to, there's 4 documents over 100 pages. So I don't think we want to go through them page by page tonight. So what I included was a table of contents of what is the high school plan. It is the most detailed only because of what the processes we have going in that building. Every building has the same basic format, but each one's got some uniqueness. For example, under fire and evacuation, tornado, emergency shelters, bomb threats, AFE and Grand Marsh would have to include what they would do during recess, a non-classroom event. We don't have recess at high school, but we have lunch before and after school. We have a lot more athletic events. The middle school also has some, so we have an athletic plan that are included in those too. AFE and Grand Marsh would include their performances in the gym, etc. We address those with each individual item. So in that item, it'll say, here's what we do before school, here's what we do at recess, here's what we do at lunch, here's what we do after school. So those are all addressed. We did not separate those out. The other thing that's pretty unique to the plan versus the past, administrative hold, is a new term that we're implementing, and it's replacing the term lockdown. And we came to that conclusion because lockdown invokes emotional response from people, because they don't know what the lockdown, that sounds serious. But we have sometimes where we need to have kids held in their classrooms, still hold class, because we might have a medical emergency where a kid has to be transported. We want everyone out of the halls. We don't want to invoke an emotional response. We don't want people wondering, or parents wondering what is going on. We tell the kids and the staff, if there's an administrative hold, there is no threat to your safety. Therefore, we can have holds for a lot of things and go about our business, but when we have something, if we ever had something so horrific as an intruder, you speak in plain language. And we have now all protocol across the district what the language would be. And it would be simply, there is an intruder. Because we want them to be alerted very quickly of what's happening. Now, reunification is another uniqueness that was required by the state that we didn't have before. When you read through that plan, keep in mind this. There are sites listed as potential sites, but reunification, when you devise a plan, you need to address in detail when, how, and what you would do in reunification. When and where is going to be determined by the circumstances of the event. So the sites that are listed are potentials and examples, but we would decide where and when reunification would occur based on that specific event. Because the primary concern when there's an event is securing the safety of the people, the buildings, etc. Unification does not take place until that's all done. So as you read through that, keep that in mind. Those are just potential sites. We would not publish a plan saying this is what we would do, because obviously that could be problematic. The templates for the drills are also in the plan, so you guys will be seeing those, so you can look at those and what administrators will be evaluating the drills on. And I do got to thank, there are a number of people involved in this. Sean Groshek, the donation with the athletic plan, Tom with the Fine Arts Center, and all the administrative team had input. And then we got together, and in my feeble attempt, I tried to format it, and I got an expert involved, and then Stacey McManus took over and did the real work of formatting and trying to get it. We're not quite done. There's one thing we have to add to it yet, and that is a process for reporting potential threats. So if we hear something, what do we do? Well, it's mandatory reporting. It's part of the new state law. So every staff member is going to do a module through the DPI. It'll take them through their responsibilities, their duties, if they hear of a threat. What we've got to construct now is some kind of reporting form. We've got a team going November 28th to a threat assessment training. And when they come back with those resources, we'll include that form in each of the plans. So, questions?
This, for each one of these school districts, these schools, are we going to have like a 3-ring binder on every teacher's desk or in every teacher's room that has this information? I'm thinking like the bomb threat would be something you'd want to keep somewhere near your phone or that book so you can just flip right to it if that was to happen.
Jim and I actually met about that. He had an idea of like a go box that would be available in every room. It would be fastened to the wall in a removable fashion like Velcro, so that they had to evacuate, they grab it, and there would be rosters, would be the plan, etc. But while they're in the room, that plan, the entire plan would always be in there with all the forms necessary, so they have access in every room.
I see you also added the administration building as well.
Yep, because we got the academy, we have 10 to 12 students in the morning and afternoon, so the state law mandates that we have a safety plan.
Yes. Do parents have access to this? Can they?
That I don't, I guess it's a public document, yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you for the work.
We need a motion to approve these safety plans?
We do not. It's similar to the AGR requirements in which we have to have on record that the board has reviewed.
At this time, we'll consider adjournment to closed section of section 19.851E. Is there a motion?
So, I'll second.
Motion made by Jim, second by Joanne, to move to closed section under section 19.851E deliberation or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specific public business when competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed section, to wit, sale of commercially listed school property. Is there a motion? I mean, is there discussion? Hearing none, start this with Kathy.
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Lana?
Yes.
My vote is yes, passes 8-0. Back to the room. Now back to the, we're reconvening in the open session. Moving on to sale of commercially listed school property.
I make a motion to give Jim Babel as district administrator the authority to accept the bid for the amount of $125,000 for the property at 1070 State Road 13, Friendship, Wisconsin 53934.
And I'll second.
Motion made by Jim, second by Joanne, to make a motion to give Jim Babel as district administrator authority to accept the bid in the amount of $125,000 for the property at 1070 State Road 13, Friendship, Wisconsin. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll start this vote with Ron.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Kathy.
Yes.
Mike. And my vote is yes. Passes 8-0. Reports. Board of Education. Anyone?
Yes. I
Go
was
ahead, Ron.
fortunate enough to attend the Veterans Day program assembly at the AFAS High School, and it was very moving. It was respectful. Kids were outstanding, and I'd like to just extend a comment of congratulations to Mr. Weisinger, Mr. Moore, Nick Storman, Adam Gale, Rachel Harder, the band director, and Brad Randall, the chorus director, and Nick Engel, senior high school speaker, and Jed Goodwin, the junior that played taps. It was a great program and enjoyed it.
I also would like to congratulate the One Act. I was fortunate enough to go and see it. I'm surprised it didn't get advanced because I love the play, I love the acting. It was a lot of fun, just a lot of really talented kids. So, thank you so much.
Anyone else? AF Foundation?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay, thank you. With that, administrators? Barb? Right? Kevin?
One Act will be performing Wednesday at 9:30ish at the Fine Arts Center. If anyone's board members are interested in coming, for the student body. If you didn't get a chance to see it, yeah, my kids and I were reciting the one-liners all weekend from that, so it's very good, very funny.
What time is it?
It starts during Excel time, so officially like 9:26. We shut the doors then, so it'll be.
Crystal?
Right now, we are full with our integrated behavioral health providers. We have 88 students seeing a provider, and we were able to partner with Drug Free Adams County to promote the film Written Off. We had 333 people in our community see the film.
Here.
As mentioned in the student report, our Grand March Veterans Breakfast recognition is Friday at 9:30, just so that you know. So just a second reminder, you're all welcome to attend.
Mr. Rouse?
Nothing at this time.
Michelle?
One of the things I wanted to mention is this summer we shared at the federal visit that we do something called the DOT survey, depending on teachers and staff. And we're taking student results and we're going to be comparing them with staff results to see if there's any students who aren't connecting with people within the building, so we can be really intentional about interventions. So that's happening this week. We're actually doing that at our collaboration staff meeting on Wednesday. Also, if you want to watch some boys basketball Tuesday and Thursday night, we have home games. So come on up.
I'm going to defer to Brandy to talk about our Monday holiday meal.
I'll defer to Brandy too.
Brandy?
Monday we have our holiday meal for Thanksgiving. We're also showing Incredibles 2 after as a family movie night. It was sent out district-wide so that the entire district, students, parents, and then you can come even if you don't have children in the community or that go to our schools. So that starts at 5 o'clock and the meal will run till 6. We have about 140 people that are already RSVP'd for the event. So.
Shannon?
No, I'm good for
I want to echo Ron's comments. Our Veterans Day Assembly, given an opportunity to go to it, you should. It's a great experience of community spirit. The veterans show up, we're very proud, and they should be. The students are amazingly respectful, and we get students involved in the program and teachers involved. Adam Beal was mentioned earlier. He's a new teacher at the high school. He served 4 years, 2 tours in Afghanistan, so that personalizes for the kids a lot. Also, I want to make sure that Doug Clark gets mentioned because He had a day off today, but he made sure all the setup was done without a problem, even though his absence wasn't there. So that was very much appreciated. And our NHS also hosted a reception for the veterans afterwards. Their advisors, Chad Biglin, and he had it orchestrated so the NHS members would sit at tables, and they brought baked goods. And they sat at tables not as a little clique, but in pairs. So they sat and visited with the veterans and their families, and that lasted for about a half hour, and it was really rewarding for the kids. So if you haven't experienced it, last thing about it is we have not mentioned yet, we also inducted 4 more people into our military wall of honor today. And we're probably going to get a lot more next year because the number of forms were taken up by families.
Thank you. I've got Director CISA 5. I went to the meeting here last Thursday night. One thing we're trying to do is be more customer friendly, and I think Barbie received a quick survey, right?
Yep.
We sent out a 5-second survey. We find that if we send out a great big survey, 4 or 5 pages long, nobody ever returns them. So we came up with an idea that we just send out a 5-second survey. How's your service going? Or I think that's pretty much what it says.
Yep.
And then if we don't hear back from them, then we call them and say, well, we sent you this survey, you didn't fill out, how's your service going? But most people just say, it's going well. And that's it. And we have I think only 3 people had problems with that. We were able to hook them up with the right people, and it's a really quick way, it's a different way to look at surveys. Instead of doing a great big survey where it's got tons of questions, you just ask them 1 or 2 questions. I think we're going to do that with the superintendents here shortly with the PAC meetings they have after each month and see how the PAC meetings are going. But it takes 5 seconds, literally, and it actually gets us lots of results. So that's what's going on CISA 5. With that, Jim, you have anything else?
I would just like to add the art gallery from the Fine Arts Center has a display. A Veterans Day theme, I believe put together by an Adams Friendship graduate. It's a pleasant 5-minute stroll through, and it's certainly something that we want to do more.
Remind the board members that we're going to have a special board meeting 2 weeks from tonight, correct?
Yes.
2 weeks from tonight, so make sure you notice the times on that. With that, is there any... Go ahead.
One more thing, if you remember the board, we are starting a remind process of texting. We're going to have a test run of that before everyone leaves here tonight to make sure that we're operational.
With that, is there any reason not to adjourn? We're adjourned at 7:59. Thank you.